The Jungle Book, the Disney's classic book. This is the story of the Jungle Book. Let's read it now. Deep in the jungle, Bagheera the panther was out hunting. Suddenly, he heard a strange crying sound coming from the river. He followed the sound and discovered a basket with a tiny baby boy inside. Why, it's a man cub, he said. This little chap needs food and a mother's care. Perhaps Mother Wolf will look after him. Mother Wolf agreed to help. They named the man cub Mowgli, and he grew up safe and happy in the jungle. But everything changed when Mowgli was 10 years old. Shere Khan, the man-eating tiger, heard about the man cub and came searching for him. The wolves agreed that Bagheera should take the boy back to the man village where he would be safe. So the next morning, Bagheera and Mowgli set off on their long journey. Mowgli was angry and upset. He didn't want to leave his home in the jungle. When darkness fell, Bagheera and Mowgli climbed a tree and settled down to sleep on a branch. Nearby, hiding under some leaves, was Kaa, the python. As soon as Bagheera was asleep, Kaa slithered towards the man cub. His shining eyes seemed to have a magic power on, and Mowgli quickly began to sink into a deep trance. Slowly, Kaa started to wind himself around the boy, ready to swallow him up. Suddenly, Bagheera woke up and sprang at Kaa. He struck the snake with his claw and sent him slithering away into the jungle. At dawn, Mowgli was awoken by a very loud noise. He looked down from the tree and saw Colonel Hattie and the Dawn Patrol marching along. Up, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, trumpeted the elephants. Mowgli jumped down from off the tree, got on all fours to join the end of the parade behind the baby elephant. He had great fun copying everything the little elephant did. Eventually, Bagheera caught up with Mowgli and wanted to carry on towards the man village, but Mowgli refused to go. He grabbed hold of a tree trunk and held on tightly. Bagheera was very cross and ran off, leaving the man cub alone. It wasn't long before Mowgli met a friendly bear called Baloo. He told Baloo how much he wanted to stay in the jungle. No problem, Baloo said. I'll look after you. Baloo enjoyed teaching his new friend all about the bare necessities of life. Soon Mowgli could fight like a bear, growl like a bear, and even scratch like a bear. Later that afternoon, Mowgli and Baloo waded into the river to keep cool. Mowgli sat on Baloo's tummy as they gently floated along. It was very peaceful, and Baloo soon fell asleep. But watching from some trees was a group of monkeys who were waiting to kidnap Mowgli. The monkeys sprang out from their hiding place and grabbed the man cub. Baloo woke with a jump, but it was too late. The monkeys were already carrying Mowgli off to the ruined temple where they lived. Luckily, Bagheera heard Mowgli's cries and rushed to the river to help. He found Baloo, who explained what had happened. We need a rescue plan, Bagheera said. At the ruined temple, Louie, king of the apes, was sitting on his throne, waiting for the man cub to arrive. So you're here at last, Louie cried as Mowgli was dropped beside him. Louie offered to help Mowgli to stay in the jungle. In return, he wanted to learn the secret of man's red fire. But Mowgli could explain that he didn't know the secret. Louie declared that they would have a great feast in honor of their guest. Baloo and Bagheera reached the temple just in time to see Louie leap from his throne and starting to sing and dance in celebration of the man cub's arrival. As Mowgli's feet began to tap the music, he forgot his troubles and joined the fun. "Baloo," whispered Bagheera, "you need to distract the monkeys while I rescue Mowgli." Baloo had an idea. He dressed in some coconut shells and leaves to make himself look like a lady ape. Then he waved at Louie. The king thought the lady ape was very beautiful and rushed over to ask her to dance. He had no idea that it was really Baloo in disguise. But as Baloo danced, his disguise began to fall off. The angry monkeys realized they had been tricked and started to attack him. Just as Bagheera rushed over to help, Baloo knocked over a pillar of a whole temple, came crashing down around the monkeys. Luckily, Baloo managed to drag Mowgli away from King Louie, and Bagheera led him both to safety. "The man cub must go to the man village," said Bagheera. "It's not safe for him to stay in the jungle." Baloo, remembering Shere Khan, had to admit that Bagheera was right, so the next morning, Baloo led Mowgli off towards the man village. When the man cub found out where they were headed, he was very angry. "You don't want me to stay. You're just like Bagheera," he shouted. But before Baloo could explain, Mowgli ran off into the jungle. When Bagheera heard Mowgli had ran away, he went to see Colonel Hattie at the Dawn Patrol. "We need your help," Bagheera told him. "The man cub is alone in the jungle. We must find him before Shere Khan does." At that very moment, close by, Shere Khan was stalking a deer. As he stopped and listened to Bagheera, he licked his lips. "The man cub is lost in the jungle, eh? I think I'll do everyone a good deed and find him first," he said. And off he went to begin his search. It wasn't long before Shere Khan spotted Mowgli in the distance. Emerging from the shadows, the tiger gave a loud roar. He leaped at Mowgli, taking the man cub by surprise. But Shere Khan stopped in mid-leap and crashed to the ground. Baloo had caught him by the tail. Shere Khan roared with rage as he dragged Baloo behind him, but a brave bear was determined not to let go. Eventually, the ferocious tiger managed to flip Baloo over his head. The bear hit the ground with a mighty crash. Suddenly, a lightning bolt struck a nearby tree, which burst into flames. Shere Khan was terrified. Fire was the only thing that frightened him. Seeing his chance to get back at the tiger, Mowgli picked up a burning branch. The man cub tied the burning branch to the tiger's tail. Shere Khan screamed as he clawed the branch away. Then he fled into the jungle, never been seen again. Mowgli ran over to Baloo, who was lying very still on the ground. "Please get up, Baloo," he cried. Bagheera came over to comfort Mowgli. "Baloo was very brave," the panther said. "Was?" gulped Mowgli. "You mean Baloo's dead?" But before Bagheera had a chance to reply, Baloo sat up and rubbed his eyes. He wasn't dead after all. Mowgli laughed and threw his arms around the big bear's neck. Mowgli peered through the trees. The three friends carried on towards the man village. Suddenly, they heard someone singing across the river. Mowgli peered to the trees and saw a young girl kneeling by the river. "Isn't she pretty?" cried Mowgli, climbing a tree to have a closer look. The girl turned and smiled. Mowgli shyly smiled back when she began to walk towards the man village. Mowgli ran to join her. Baloo and Bagheera felt very sad that their young friend was leaving. but they knew he would now be happy and safe. "It is where he belongs," sighed Bagheera. "Come on, Baloo. Let's get back to where we belong." And so the two friends headed back towards the jungle, singing and dancing happily. And that's the end of the Jungle Book story. And if you watch the Jungle Book movie, you have to watch this video. And this video is about for 3 to 8 years old who like to learn to read. And please subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching.